So we're not only offering an opportunity to go travel with Bitcoin, we're offering an opportunity to go live the lifestyle and treat Bitcoin as it was intended to be treated in a peer-to-peer manner. After the Great Reset of 2008, 2009, I come to the realization that Bitcoin is the answer and can solve a lot of problems financially for people. There's this toxic Bitcoin mentality in some of us that we shouldn't spend our Bitcoin. But I think that this is really a horrible argument. So what we need to do as a community is really support projects like Air BTC, where we're spending Bitcoin, we're distributing it throughout the community, and we're bringing prosperity to people that probably wouldn't have it without Bitcoin.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Sovereign Mindset Podcast. Today, I got Jake Seifert over here with Air BTC. We are in El Salvador at Plaza Futura, home of the World Trade Center buildings over here. So real cool setup. Jake, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So I gave you a brief introduction. Do you want to give us a little bit more about your background, where you're from, and what brought you to El Salvador?
Sure. So I'm actually the class of 2017. I heard about Bitcoin far before that, but what it was being used for at the time didn't really appeal to me. So I kind of left it alone. But after the Great Reset of 2008, 2009, and that lasted quite a long time, I come to the realization that Bitcoin is the answer and can solve a lot of problems financially for people. So AirBTC is actually created by Bitcoiners for Bitcoiners. And the reason why we're here in El Salvador is because a large majority of our business is here because of the past laws that, were enacted here. Even though times are changing here in El Salvador, there's still a lot of infrastructure, and Bitcoiners have continued to stay steadfast in the understanding that El Salvador really is this savior.
Okay, cool. And so away from business, what's life been like here for the time that you've been around?
So I come down quite frequently, but I've been here for the past 3 weeks. I'm going to be here for another week. Just a part of an accelerator program here, but in between all my meetings and stuff, I meet locals, and I'm onboarding people left and right, hotels and hostels and private homes.
Awesome. Okay, so then, let's talk about why you're here. You're here with an accelerator program. Can you talk about what your experience has been with that? Who is the accelerator program, and how have you found the whole experience?
Sure. So X Founders is the program, and it's been pretty good so far. I mean, there's been constant scheduling of marketers and deal makers and market makers and people from all walks of life that are in the Web3 space. So not all of it really fits into what I am trying to do down here, but for the most part, there's a lot of insights that I couldn't get without this access.
And is it insights into El Salvador specifically and how business operates over here?
There's a lot of investment folks that are here that come and visit with us. I wouldn't say it's El Salvador only, right? But it's highly focused on the economy here.
Okay. And in general, your impressions with El Salvador, lifestyle-wise, you're from Florida, is that right?
I am.
Okay. What's been your impression in that regard?
I can really appreciate El Salvador for so many things. The economical aspects, that's the safety, and I think for me, I feel like this place is so safe that I bring my kids, right, and we walk around the street and have no fear of literally anything, which is so unlike anything you would experience in a metropolitan city in the States or even in Central America for that matter. I've really found El Salvador, the people, to be super welcoming and loving and caring. It's an unmatched place in Central America or globally for safety and soon to be economical growth, right? So first comes safety and then comes investment and long-term, everyone wins here in El Salvador.
Yeah. And so I guess, what do you see then long-term happening here? Do you see continued growth and continued investment coming into the space? Has there been any insights that you've gained from the projects that are, you're working with? Do you see more startups happening here, or more businesses looking at El Salvador as a potential place to do business?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of projects here locally that I really have come into contact with and really have understood their product, and it's so amazing that it actually is built here in El Salvador. So K1, for instance, they're a Bitcoin vending machine, not an ATM. Don't call them that.
Okay.
But yeah, the innovative product, and it's manufactured here in El Salvador, which is so exciting. And then Zero AI, which is an AI lab that's based in El Salvador and leading cutting edge stuff. And I think these are just the beginning steps to the technological advancement of the society here. Because investment is going to come. It's coming. Real estate wise, it's been happening for some years now. But I think now that everyone's realizing, okay, the real estate is going up. All of these things are happening. Safety is just all over the country. It's amazing. It's going to attract more and more investment. And also, the government is behind a lot of initiatives to create more value for the everyday Salvadorian.
Yes, interesting. So then that takes us kind of to Air BTC. And first I want to kind of understand your motivations for pursuing, a project like this. It sounds like you're a Bitcoiner through and through. And from what I read on your website, the Bitcoin ethos is very strong in your heart, and a big motivation for building this. It's by Bitcoiners for Bitcoiners. And it sounded like you wanted to really transcend the fiat system and kind of already build towards a Bitcoin circular economy. Is that correct?
Yeah, it truly is. I mean, we see ourselves as accelerating the circular economy and the growth. So just specifically here in El Salvador, but it happens all over the world. There's a new community of circular economy that just pops up anywhere in the world, but especially here. We feel like if we have an AirBTC option within these communities, we can actually drive outside investment, and that investment is it's not huge money or anything, but the idea is that someone's coming from Iowa or coming from Ohio or somewhere across the planet, and they're going to stay in this circular economy, and not only are they going to spend the sats on our stay, but then they're going to go out and go to a dinner, they're going to have an excursion. There's other things that are involved with travel. And we're not going to be the recipient of those of that Bitcoin, right? The community will be. So we feel like it's an integral part of the circular system, circular economy, that AirBTC actually is a part of the whole process of the education.
Okay, so from what I'm gathering from just what you said there, AirBTC isn't just stopping at like being an Airbnb substitute, but it's actually going towards providing experiences and almost like liaison services, where it's also telling you the other Bitcoin businesses that are around which you can partake in. Is that kind of right?
Yeah, exactly. So if you book something anywhere with us, you'll get a travel guide emailed to you after your booking, and it will explain, hey, how to travel like a Bitcoiner. Mm-hmm. What hardware wallet should you have? Should you have Lightning? Should you have some liquid layer 2 sats? How to well protect your assets? How to travel light? All these things. But then also there's a travel guide that also goes into the specific location that you're in that will suggest the best restaurants that accept Bitcoin. That suggests car rentals, bike rentals, anything that you might need on vacation, medicine, grocery stores. All of these things are part of the travel guide. So we're not only offering an opportunity to go travel with Bitcoin, we're offering an opportunity to go live the lifestyle and go treat Bitcoin as it was intended to be treated in a peer-to-peer manner. And it'll only help bolster the Bitcoin economy globally.
Awesome. That is awesome. As somebody who's trying to be more a part of the circular economy here, sometimes, as an entrepreneur, you get so busy, you got to make a payment and you just, hey, whatever's convenient, right? But now I'm really actively trying to bolster the circular economy here and making sure that I ask everywhere I go whether they're accepting Bitcoin or not. So having a brochure or having a travel guide tell you, hey, this is kind of the tips and tricks and where to go and how to do it, I think is a great value add to your service. In terms of where you're at with Air BTC. Can you give a little bit of the viewers an understanding of the roadmap and where you're at and what you see in the future?
Yeah, so the first vertical of our business is the short-term rentals. But sooner than later, we're going to be offering Bitcoin microloans. So if you don't want to spend your Bitcoin, it's okay. We'll give you a small loan against your Bitcoin with industry averages. We'll also give other opportunities for payments. If you want to buy with a credit card, then we will buy through your credit card. You can purchase Sats and then pay for the stay. But as far as our overall growth, I mean, we're attacking this $87 billion annual travel and tourism market, right? So short-term rentals, it's growing 7% a year annually. We feel like we can really make a dent in this, but we need the help of the community. There's this toxic Bitcoin mentality in some of us that we shouldn't spend our Bitcoin. But I think that this is really a horrible argument for the overall growth, because not only does this play into the hands of the Michael Saylors of the world, or the ETFs, or these big banks, and everybody and their mother is starting these Bitcoin reserves for their companies. None of that Bitcoin will ever come out of the crate. Once it goes into that mechanism, it'll never come out. So what we need to do as a community is really support projects like AirBTC, where we're spending Bitcoin, we're distributing it throughout the community, and we're bringing prosperity to people that probably wouldn't have it without Bitcoin.
Awesome. Yeah. The way I kind of view things in that regard is that there are forces that centralize the network and there are forces that decentralize the network. And where you want to go as, sound money is more in the decentralized aspect. And I feel like a circular economy is part of this force that decentralizes the network. And so we should be, regardless of what your interests are in Bitcoin, maybe it's just as a store of value, but you should see a medium of exchange as a worthwhile endeavor and support projects who are accepting Bitcoin and pay whenever you can in Bitcoin as a way to further decentralize the network. And it's kind of my opinion. So I agree with what you're saying. What's next after El Salvador?
I get to go home and kiss my kids, so that's gonna be really huge for me. I haven't seen them in a month, so I'm coaching some of their athletics, and I'm really involved. So I'm super excited to get home. But once I get home and settled in, back to work, back to the grind, and I'm really pushing every day, and our team is pushing to create this world that we want to live in. Not that we live in it now, because we have to build for the future and for the people that really believe in our project. I think it's an opportunity to do the right thing, right? And Bitcoin, it really crosses so many gaps of our everyday lives, politically or whatever it may be, that we truly feel like we're in a position to make a real difference globally. And, I would just hope that everyone can go out and support our project the best way they can. And if that's, maybe just going and registering an account, if you have a hotel or a hostel or a home and you want to do a little Bitcoin mining with your real estate, might as well, right? And it doesn't mean you have to stop doing the everyday large booking sites. You can do them congruently with our site. So we encourage you to build the best business you can, but if you can also accept Bitcoin, then it's going to be an overall positive for the whole community.
Awesome. Well, any other parting words before we close off this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really interested in your project. It's going to be happening shortly. So I don't know if you can share more about that with me.
Well, yeah, sure. I am working on an eco village, and I'm trying to do it here in El Salvador. And the way I've been approaching this is just by exploring the space a little bit, finding out what it takes to build an intentional community, finding out about the different structures. So basically going through the discovery process. And in that discovery process, I'm sharing what I'm learning, sharing what I've discovered, and talking to people also who are in the space. El Salvador right now is a magnet for people who want to build alternative systems and alternative ways to live. And I think one of the aspects of a fiat economy, which I think a lot of people are coming to realize has been detrimental to our overall wellness, is the fact that we're atomized, and that in our neighborhoods, although they might be, well manicured and nice and neat, there's still an aspect of community that's missing. There's an aspect of shared sense of values, and I think also missing an overall purpose. And so I think this is where the idea of an eco village / Bitcoin citadel / permaculture society would come into play, right? And I'm trying to figure out what the crossovers of all the cultures are, and get the right amount. Because Bitcoin, I think what it does is it orients you to truth. And I think that allows you to see, okay, a lot of the ways we have been living in the past, especially the past 50 years under fiat standard, haven't been conducive to our overall happiness and well-being, and that there's so much that we're leaving on the table. So how can we reimagine life? How can we reimagine neighborhoods? How can we reimagine communities? And so I've been exploring this topic, and I think going for a minimal viable product and just getting the ball rolling is kind of the way to go. And so as I've been having the conversations, kind of like just right now, maybe somebody might listen to this, there has been a ton of energy coming my way, like just people interested in this. And so I know that people are hungry for this. And so one of those experiences was a realtor calling me up and say, "Hey, Mike, I listened to your podcast. I love what you're saying. You got to come look at this land. It's over here in El Salvador. I'm going to come pick you up right now." So I got in the car, went with him, saw the land, and I'm like, you know what? It's not perfect, but it's 80% of the way there, and let's just get this ball rolling, and let's see what I can discover through the process of trying to make this happen. And so right now we're at the very, very beginning stages of this. I'm hoping to put an offer on the land this week. And so we'll see where it goes, as I am kind of letting the Lord lead me and just putting one foot in front of the other. And, there's been a lot of green lights along the way. There hasn't been a lot of friction, like a lot of coincidences, a lot of things falling into place in ways that are almost seamless. That I'm like, okay, I have to walk this path. Like, even though I feel like I'm not ready, even though I might not have done all the research I want to, I have to walk this path to see how far I can get. And so that's where I'm at.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch it all unfold.
Yeah, and as we were talking, we might, there might be a place for Air BTC on there as well. So, I don't know what you've experienced here in El Salvador, but in terms of like the overall energy from the type of people that are coming here, have you experienced any of that serendipity, any of that magic?
I really have, and it's so interesting that you say that, because you mentioned we lived in the fiat standard for all this time, and I feel like people are just awakening to this, being on the computer all day long, and maybe not, they don't like their job, and they're in a community where nobody really understands who they are. They're yearning for something like this, right? They need this community, and it's not tribal. It's more, it's connective. It's not, and we want to bring people in, and I think it plays really into your ethos and everything that you got going on. But yeah, I feel the magic every day, and I meet people just off the street, and it's changing the way you think, the way you feel, and it really makes an impact on your lives and the lives of your children, and that's what it's all about. It's about the next generation. Yeah, we may not see $5 million Bitcoin or $10 million Bitcoin, but our kids will, right? And if we can build the world that we want them to live in, I think that's what it's all about.
Exactly. In a lot of ways, I feel like this project is building a legacy, not only like a legacy for me, but allowing also people to be a part of something here in El Salvador is special, and allow people to also be part of a legacy. And I think that, El Salvador, I feel like is filtering for a specific type of person right now. And in terms of like who it's attracting to come into the country, right? They're pioneers, they're risk takers, they're visionaries, they're doers. They see the problems of the world and they want to solve it. And El Salvador is emerging from 40, 50 years of being kind of in the dark with the civil war and gang violence. And now it's kind of opening up to investment, to ideas, to people. And so I think there's still a lot of inconveniences and there's still a lot of challenges here in El Salvador. But for somebody who kind of sees the long-term vision and the long-term future, it's be very attractive. And so I feel like it's naturally filtering out for a specific type of person like yourself, for instance, right? And I felt the magic when you have a group of people who are like that in the same room, and I felt how it's invigorated me. And that's kind of what I'm trying to create with this community. Again, it's almost like a third place, you know, like you have your home, you have your work, and then you got a place where you can go and you feel at home, you know the people, you know the culture, right? But instead of it being centered around drinking, which like bars were usually the third place, it's centered around wellness and fitness and health and entrepreneurship. And that's kind of what I want to embed into the culture of that property that I'm trying to develop out. And so that's basically the idea. And so, yeah, I'm working towards it. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be a long-term project. You know, I'm thinking, 5 to 10 years. And so we'll see where it goes.
It's gonna happen.
Thank you, brother.
I know it.
I appreciate it. And thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.